Hello everyone, Granite Roots here. This is going to be the introduction of Fractals video. Should be short, but just give you an idea where to go and how to get there. So if you've seen any other videos, if you're interested in doing fractals, they are just these little kind of mini boss, mini dungeons, all linked together. And it's a good way to get used to fighting bosses and doing some mini mechanics, which will lead you into strikes and raids. And kind of the way to go if you're new at all this stuff, starting some end game content. Fractals, strikes, and raids probably a good progression to get into raids, which is can be pretty mechanic heavy and require lots of teamwork, which is what makes them fun. So, how do you find a group? First of all, you can use your contacts, Y, or click on this button up here. You're going to go to looking for a group. Let's go to Fractals. These usually have stuff, so I can probably help you through some of the abbreviations. So Fractal the Mist, this is the tab. If you're new, you're going to want to go to 1 to 25. And there are 4 scales. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4. The Fractal events and bosses are the same for each scale, like they have the same ones in each scale. However, each scale you go up, it gets a little bit harder. For instance, you'll require something called agony above scale 120, above scale 1, and we'll talk even at the end of scale 1 you could use one, but you don't need it. After that, you kind of need it, and I'll show you and talk to you about that in a little bit. But here's where you're joining a group. So say you're new, you're going to click on scale 1. So here we go. Someone's advertising Lonely Tower T1, which is his tier 1. All welcome, which means bring your favorite build, doesn't matter what. This is the same thing. This is also doing the same one. They just put it as the number 25. Let's look at scale 2. Okay, they're doing a rec. You have daily fractals that you get loot for completing, kind of like doing daily rewards. And for this one, they also have daily recommendations also. This is a T2 rec, which is just my trend. They just want to do that one. A lot of times you'll see nothing tier 3. Fresh rec, so if you see just recs, they want to do, and recommendations come in 3 tiers, 1, 2, and 3. One from each, and so this group is going to do all 3. One from tier 3, one from tier 2, one from tier 1. And this one says CMs, which means challenge mode. So from I think it's 96 or 97 to 100, you have you have the option to make the fractal harder by using the challenge mode orb at the beginning. And you get extra loot for that. See here they're doing 96 through 98. And this one there's a legendary backpack that you can get, and you need kind of certain fractals as part of that achievement. That's what he's calling for, and that backpack is right here, ad infinitum. So that's what he is looking for. Legendary backpacks, you can change the stats. So what kind of equipment do you need? Exotic is probably best, although actually for this you do kind of need Ascended if you go into higher tiers, because you need those slots for infusions to take care of agony. So we're going to talk about that in a second. So let's talk about, you join a group. Now how do you get there? I think if you're anywhere in Lion's Arch, you'll get a pop-up that can go in. If you want to start your own group or go into them, I am in Lion's Arch, and you have Fort Mariner Waypoint, and you see that Asura Gate, and then you have all these purple gates. Then you have right here this little looks like a shell. That's the dungeon fractals. So, and the other way is if you happen to have one of these Mistlock Sanctuary passkeys, you can also just zone in from there. So let's say we want to enter. So if you go into an enter, if you're choosing, these are all the tiers you can choose, and these little dots will tell you what the daily or recommendation is. So in tier 1, so your daily recommended, daily tier 1. So daily tier 1s are Swampland, Deep Stone, Solid Ocean, and then Twilight Oasis is your recommended daily fractal. But let's just go in. Let's say I was going to do 5 Swampland. The other thing you'll notice too is some of these repeat. if you look at, let's see, at least they used to repeat. It's been a while. But if they do repeat, you can choose a lesser one and still get the same achievements. Just lower on the number, the easier it is. So let's go to Swampland. Actually, I may need to change that. So here's the fractal lobby. Here's where you wait when everybody's ready. You have your people, and then when I start, someone will go in here, and then I'll click, "Are you ready to continue?" Otherwise, you have banks and stuff down there. If you need something, these port you to different places. Or you can jump down. Up here is if you need to change your scale, which we do, because we're going to see what agony is. Okay, so if you do this to see how I'm going up, you see suggested agony resistance 0. Once you get to about 20, I think it is. Yeah, 20, it starts saying you need some. And you can get away with no agony on the first one, provided you have decent healers. But it's recommended you have that. And for the first bit, you can buy what's called a Anguish Tear of Alba. You talk to this merchant over here. And right here, so you see this gives you an hour of 10 agony resistance, and this can
take care of yourself.
And this will definitely get you through tier 1 without any worries. You don't want to join a tier 4 with like 30 agony resistance. So how do you know what damage you're going to take if you don't have agony resistance? So when you go up high enough and agony becomes a thing, this guy, the Mistwalker, is going to be sitting here, and there's a red ring here. This is what you can expect from agony. Periodically, in the Fractal at certain times or boss events, you're going to get hit with agony, which can lower damage. My agony is good. If you look at my agony resistance, you find it right here. It's 207. I wonder if I have a build that doesn't have that. Let me see. Probably not this one. Let's see, what's his agony resistance? Okay. So maybe I was wrong. Let's see. Okay, so not really. But what it'll show you is you're going to take damage. So that's the way to check how much damage you will take. Being in there, your health is just going to like go boop, boop, boop. What else is there? I think that's basically it. Oh, agony. So what is agony? How do you get it? And how do you apply it to your character? So, do I have any in here? I don't. I think I just... So agony is this. They come in different kinds and sizes. You have like some mysticals that have agony infusions, you know, agony protection plus an extra ability like 5 agony resistance plus concentration or power, healing. These are for builds. And then here's what you get here. You have like most fractals, when you complete them, will drop a +1. You can combine +1s to make higher ones like 6s, 9s. Typically, to have a decent set to do all of the tiers is just have all your slots attuned with +9s, and that will put you way over what you need. So let's look at a piece of equipment. Let me see. Do I have an ascended thing here? Okay, so you see I'm hovering over Kadim's Defender War Gavel. So upgrade slot is where you would put your sigil or whatever for whatever your build is, and underneath unused infusion slot you would equip some in there. And how you do that is, let me see if I can do it on this one. Okay, so I have my weapon here. You see I have a couple mighties. So if I wanted to use some, I would double click it and hover over it and apply it. And typically all ascended gear will have like one infusion slot, so I have all those slots filled. And then over here, your backpack comes with 1, but you can do something to upgrade it and bring it to 2. Your trinkets only ever have 1. Relics don't have any. Your amulet won't, but your rings come with 2, but they can also be upgraded to have 1 each extra. So typically you have like all done and said and done, like 18. So you need those to progress. And just by way of review, look at one more time, is if you look at the opening level of Fractal, if you're not sure, you can set it to level and stand in the red circle, or you can just go right here, tier 2. Let's see, what does tier 2 48 have? So if you hover over 48, you see that little shield on the upper right hand corner. 57, you need 57 agony. And if you're like under by 5, it's not terrible, but you want to be at least close to that number or above it. And like tier 4, you need 150 at the low end. So if you wanted to do all of tier 3, having like 100 is what you'd need, because the highest tier is 106. So I think that's all that I have. Hopefully it makes sense. Thank you for watching, and hope you all have a wonderful day.